I believe that I am a genius. I know that what I am creating, people will like an eternity. I am very sure of myself. Always been.
Marta Minujín is really a true giant in modern and contemporary art. Throughout her career, she's been breaking boundaries again and again. She's using the playful, fantasy, the sense that anything is possible as a vehicle to connect art with everyday life. So intensity is really what is at the heart of the experience she creates in her work. The exhibition that we're showing in CC is the first major retrospective of Marta Minujín's work in Europe. Minujín is a truly exciting part of the 1960s experimental art scene and also still a prolific contemporary creator. With the show, we want to invite a European audience to experience a giant in contemporary creation.
Here is an old factory of my grandfather that came from Russia and create overalls, the thing that I use all the time to work. So I was inspired here, and I was always working here. Then I went to live in Paris, to live in New York, but I always come back here. And then factory broke, and all the houses were empty. So I destroyed all the walls, and I created this studio. And here is my home, really, because I spend all the time, even Saturday, here. I love to be here working. I wanted to be an artist since I was 5 years old. My father was very culto, they like culture. And they have a reproduction of Van Gogh. I don't remember the name, but it was like a restaurant with people. So I started believing that I was Van Gogh. Like at the very beginning, painting. And then one night, I was working at night, I decided that I need some soft and round shape. And then I became working with the mattresses that I find on the street. They were all, yeah.
Marta Minujín really comes into the 50s, I would say. So they started to use whichever materials at hand, and they would destroy the idea of creation through the destruction of materials. Then at some point in Paris, she creates this cathartic performance or action called La Destrucción.
So I have a fellowship for 3 years in Paris. I went to study because that was the grant, but I never studied. I just did my work. And then I took all the mattresses with the rest of my money in the grant, all my mattresses, and I put it in the Impasron Sun, and I invite 7 artists to do their work inside mine, like destroying. So Cristo wrapped me, and then wrap my work, and I take out, and I put gasoline, I put everything on fire, and that's it. Then the firemen came because it was such a fire that we had to escape the place.
When you see pictures from the happening, the destruction, you see Marta grinning in the middle of something that looks like a chaotic burnout. This means that a lot of her early work is now lost. With the destruction, she really marks a shift in her practice. From being in a formalist investigation of art objects, trying to, on a conceptual level, connect art with everyday environments, she burns everything down and she starts from scratch. And this is where she decides to work with a complete morphing of art and everyday life.
This situation allows her to realize the power that she has as an individual, as a very young woman who is able to, in a way, shift the parameters of an art scene in Paris, but also in Argentina, with the same force, with the same freedom, with the same creative power, and with the same possibility to propose fundamental questions for contemporary society.
Juzgaron, también los visitantes. Hasta para ellos tuvo significación la Menesunda, apertura del mundo para una nueva manera de proyectarse.
La Menesunda is the creation of Marta Minujín and Rubén Santantonin for the Instituto Torcuato Di Tella in Buenos Aires. It was open to the public for only 15 days, and it became one of the largest myths in contemporary Argentinian history.
Well, I decided to copy this city to show to the people how do you see the city through an artist's eye. So I took the street with neon lights and everything. You have a tunnel, I have a bedroom, how the people decorate his own bedroom, the head of the women that is so full of makeup, different effects. So the people came, what I wanted to do is people live art, not look at art, live inside. You see the film of Menesunda, you will see they laugh, they feel unhappy when they go out, with all the confetti. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a vitamin to life.
So in the 1960s, Marta Minujín was part of a revolution in art, a revolution of artistic creativity, experimentation that went well beyond the borders of Argentina. She became part of a global pop art movement. And in the mid-60s, you saw artists like Lucas Samaras, Yaya Kusama, Niki de Sanfal developing these huge immersive installations. And in 65, when Marta Minujín creates La Menesunda, she's actually part of creating one of the very first completely immersive art experiences in global art history.
It was an experience as if traveling through a labyrinth of 16 situations, and very few people were able to visit La Menesunda and experience it. And given that it was only open for 15 days, it was mostly the experience of all of these people who went through La Menesunda that created the myth of La Menesunda.
The work La Menesunda was shown in an underground gallery in 1965, and the original is now lost. Now the work will be shown for the first time in Europe. It has taken more than 5 years of dedicated museum research to recreate the work in the contemporary shape that is called La Menesunda according to Marta Minujín.
In 2015, we made the first reconstruction. We made it in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And it was an exact replica. La Menesunda here consists in 11 rooms. Maybe the main challenges in here were to get the right materials. We have confetti flying in some point, and we will have to match the confetti of the time and the weight of the confetti in order to get them to fly. Also, we have smells. For example, we have dentist smell from Buenos Aires because we couldn't get it from here.
Because we didn't have plans in this work, it was like a whole thing, to try to get how the rooms interconnected and how the labyrinth worked. So with all the footage put together with, of course, Marta's memory, came up with the reconstruction of La Menesunda according to Marta. La Menesunda for us, really one of those works that's in everyone's head in a way. I think it's really rooted in Argentinian aesthetics and memory, and so I feel like I was really amazed to be part of it. So
this is an experience that was lost because of this recreation. We are having the opportunity to pass this experience to future generations, to explore a little bit of the Argentinian sense of that time, and it accompanied me through all these years. So I'm very glad to be part of it.
I work to make the people happy, and the people is inspired by me all the time. They say, you are my inspiration, and I am happy about that, because I think that I do something good to take people out of the probably very monotonous life. And I do it very easily, natural. So, because I love people, I love everyone.
The mattress is a recurring motif in Minujín's work, and according to her, it's a portrait of human life. Some of the most intimate events in our lives take place on a mattress. We're born on a mattress, we sleep on a mattress, we make love on a mattress, we die on a mattress. The mattress is where we're most vulnerable and also the most intimate object in our lives. Soft Gallery is a seminal work by Marta Minujín. It's created in 1973, a time where the critique of the modernist white cube of the gallery space was proliferating. With Soft Gallery, Minujín creates her own version of the gallery space, still white, but made out of more than 100 mattresses. The Soft Gallery is an immersive installation, but it's also a scene. It's a playful space where she invites poets, musicians, and performers to participate in different expressive events.
The Soft Gallery is a gallery still to be straight. It's soft. The people can jump, can move. I want to work a moving work, a soft work, because I always believe that art is life. I made a provocation to the people, not to just to look, but to live in art. And now it's going to be in Denmark too.
Minujín has successfully bridged the gap between contemporary art and a much wider public sphere. In her series of monuments, The Fall of Universal Myths, you see this engagement of the public to create an artwork that is not just huge, that takes place in public space, but sometimes also that is actually devoured, that's eaten by the audiences. This sense of freedom comes out of a youth in a political context dominated by military dictatorships. And one of the most profound and important works in this series is the Pantheon of Books.
I like to do gigantic things because I was living, when I was a child, very much into the mountains, and I went up high, and I saw everything from the high, and I always want to do gigantic monuments. First of all, in Buenos Aires, 35 years later, I did it in Kassel for documentary. It was fantastic. It was a colossus, such a big monument, exactly as the Parthenon. So it was colossal to do that work with forbidden books from all over the world in different times.
So Marta Minujín has been an artist who has always created with a deep consciousness of the political context in which she is interfering. The Parthenon of Books is a project that Marta Minujín had been conceiving of for a while and that she finally was able to inaugurate after the return to democracy on the 19th of December 1983. To create this work, Marta summoned all participants, all citizens, to contribute with those books that had been censored during the military dictatorship. So the work was constructed with the participation of the public, and she also tilted the Parthenon, showing that power is not always stable and that there are different ways of understanding a construction of knowledge in the world.
I always think in project that the people take somebody for them. I do the whole work, and then the late act is to disassemble my work. The Parthenon is my best work. The Parthenon of forbidden books from all over the world. Also, it was very important here, 40 years ago, the first democracy. And I moved the Parthenon because I wanted to show that world is not so straight.
Marta has this incredible ability to bring people close to the feelings that she wishes to investigate at a certain moment in time. At that time, it was, of course, hurting, of pain, of trauma, of loss, and in a way the Parthenon was trying to repair, to bring back together society into the building of a construction of knowledge. That is one of the greatest abilities of this incredible artist, that she's always looking for ways in which to bring us all together with her and to accept, to navigate her roads, the paths that she sets, that she creates for us as spectators or visitors or participants of her work.
Arte, 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 arte.
Minujín has been a pioneer of media art throughout her entire career. In the 1970s, she did hugely experimental work involving new technologies, other artists. She tried to do a simultaneous video call together with Ellen Kaprow and Wolf Fostel in the 70s, connecting people across the US, Europe, and Latin America. Today, Minujín is still very curious and very experimental in her approach to new media. On Instagram, she performs for the camera, trying to connect with thousands of people who can look directly into her studio, experience live performances in videos taken by herself in her studio in Buenos Aires. Through Instagram, Minujín continues her quest to connect people with art, to live art, to make people feel invited into the artistic process and to intensify the experience of life.
I love Instagram because the people that follow me help me. Like in pandemic when I was alone, they were telling me how to continue, and I love them, and I ask which drawing you like the most, and I have like a companion. Like I don't need nobody. I am with Instagram, the people from Instagram. For me, art is something that wakes up people from the everyday life, and they live in this situation and they are happy. So Copenhagen, I believe they will be very happy inside the Copenhagen Contemporary.